Alright, so this video you're going to see everything I bought at this estate sale, and these were old-fashioned hippies that had this estate sale. Brother and sister. House was built like in the 1870s, I think is what they said. Gorgeous home. I mean, the house was super huge, but it had like 4 rooms, that kind of house. It had been remodeled, and but it was a big house, 2-story house. It was awesome. Anyway, we get there, and just to explain to you, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not knocking anybody. This is just how it was. They had all these left-leaning political signs. They had all these sayings and that they had literally written on or painted on wood and had them hanging in the yard on trees next to the sidewalk and all that. So I said, oh, okay, this is gonna be interesting. So when we went in, it's like, oh wow, this place had a lot of nice stuff, and this was like the 3rd day of their estate sale. So I bought. I'm not going to do a video of it, but I couldn't pass it up. It was a old, and she told me that it was an early 1900s school desk that was made by people in the community. Somebody in their community that came from. I can't remember the Georgia town that it came from. They had a bunch of them, but they only had the one left. And the reason why it was left, it was part of the foot was broke off and all that. But it just looked so cool that I paid $5 whole for it. And I got a buddy that's a woodworker, so after Christmas I'm going to take it to him and see if he'll repair the foot. So they had a lot of stuff, and I had most everything they had. And some of these bottles, 2 of these 3 bottles I've already got update on the bottles, or just let you know on the bottles. My son fell in love with collecting bottles when he was a young kid, and he has hundreds of them. I destroyed half of his collection by trying to do the good thing for him. So I pick up bottles. This is one that wasn't destroyed. I hope this video comes out good. It's a Dr. Pepper, good for life, with the clock on the back. He's got a couple of these. These are not uncommon to find everywhere. A little bit more about these bottles. These bottles weren't in the house. They were in a shed. Everything I'm fixing to show you, well, not everything. These bottles were in the shed out behind the house that was full of old tools and stuff, and I didn't need any of the tools. And then when I say old tools, like garden rakes, not industrial tools or mechanical tools. But these bottles were painted. These people, they just painted stuff. Everything was painted, and it took a bit to get it off. There, see, that's white speck of paint there. I still have to get off. This, if you're unfamiliar with it, I drank this as a kid. Bud wine. It started its life like many soft drinks as an elixir. It used to be called blood wine. Athens, Georgia is where it started at. This was a great drink. I've got 1 bottle. I gotta see if they're the same bottles. It probably is. It was bottled in other states in the South, but then in the late 80s, or I guess it was the late 80s, they just quit making it. It was a cherry drink, and it was good, and there was nothing better than when you wanted a snack to get you an ice cold Bud wine and pour peanuts in it. Oh my God, if you've never done that, you're missing out. Your life is not complete. This one was painted white as well. The Bud wine bottle wasn't painted, or if it was, somebody had cleaned it off prior to me getting it. And they had tons of bottles. I mean, just all kind of, but it was all the common bottles everybody had. I couldn't believe that these 2 were there. But again, the Dr. Pepper bottle with the clock, it's everywhere. I don't know the value of these things. Paid $2 a piece for them. This is a Royal Crown bottle. Another drink that came out of Georgia. It's where you get RC and the moon pie. Now, I'm not a bottle person, but I wasn't going to pass it up. And I thought it was odd that it just had Royal Crown here, but I found out later looking at websites that it should have been a paper label, but I haven't found a picture of the bottle paper label yet. I'll look for it. But I'm trying to find the date because there's no date on it. It just says contains 12 fluid ounces on the bottom. There's Royal Crown, and it's thick, it's heavy. So I found one, and this guy had 1944 with a question mark behind it. Then I found a website talking about the Royal Crown bottles, and they said it was 1940. I'm not sure, but when I look on eBay, or other sale sites, it just says Royal Crown bottle with a price. Sometimes it'll have 40s, like 1940s with an S. So I'm not sure what year it came out, but I think it's a cool bottle, and I'm going to hang on to it and put it in my son's collection. I've been slowly building back up. In that collection, I had a Dixie beer, which you can't get anymore, full bottle, and it hit the floor and shattered with a bunch of other bottles. Still have the label, but that's it. Alright, so hang on, let me show you the next thing I got. Alright, so you know the Tonka camper, which I have a second one sitting right here on the floor beside me I ought to do a video on. Bought it in Alabama last Christmas, and it's fixing to be a year old for me. This is the male figure that was with the Tonka camper and the ambulance, and it could have been with other Tonka toys. The ambulance, I can't remember. I have the ambulance. My brothers had them as kids, and I got one because it just brought back memories. Because when they got their ambulances, I got my super tanker, which I still have. But when I see stuff like this, I always pick them up because you never know when you might need one. I got a box full of Tonka loose figures, and I cannot find it. It's packed up somewhere. But here's a lady. Now she looks like the Tonka lady, but she's got on it's a skirt. I didn't know if a skirt or short. It was kind of perverted. Sorry. She's got on a fancy top. My theory is this is something that Sears had, and the company that made them for Tonka, they also sold them to Sears. Then I don't know what this is at all. He looks like the Tonka guy, but he's a little short dude. I don't know if it's supposed to be a kid, but I have another one. Another one still in the bag. Another one still in the bag. Now the Tonka camper came with a Cocker Spaniel. This isn't it, but it was in a box of these things. They had just little match toys in there. Paid $1 a piece for those. They gave me the dog. Okay. So one more item. So I asked them, did they have any toys? And the brother, who was older than me, said that his younger brother had a dump truck. Well, I'm going to back up. All his toys were gone. He was about 10 years older than me. He had given them away or sold them off long ago, but his brother had a few, and he walked me to another room, and it was like, some old beat up Fisher-Price stuff, some old beat up Tonka stuff that I already had, and way overpriced. Like I said, people think a 1-year-old Tonka truck's worth $1,000. I got another Gatorade truck. It's got the GMC front end, steering wheel's attached, got a nick there. I can't remember. I used to know the years just by looking at the wheels, but I don't remember that anymore. Dump bed, pretty good shape, no brakes. But the signal lights, there should be signal lights. There's the post for that one. And this one is, the post is there, but it's pretty much gone. These were inexpensive toy trucks. They made them from the 60s into the 80s. Well, this version through the early 70s, and then they changed it. I haven't even washed this thing. But that's the fine. I paid $10 for it. He asked me, he was asking 20. I said, I can't give you 20, and I showed him pictures on my phone. So I got tons of these things. I just love them, and I had them as a kid, and I got pictures of me in the early 70s with these gay toy trucks. And so I told him I'd give him $10, and he said, all right, I'll take it. The thing is that when I look at these old gay toy trucks, you never know if they are, if this is how they came, because you know the beds were, you could pull the bed off and put a different bed on. If you had like a broken cab or a good dump bed or a good cement truck, you could swap them around. I always wonder if this is how it came, or was it just leftovers that they reassembled. Alright gang, that's this state find. Another horrible, cheap video, but there it is. Appreciate you checking it out if you check it out. Have a great day.